The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Well, it's anytime you go to Pembroke from here, that's a long way, brother. That's a 5.5 hour trip, and we've made some long trips this year as a football team, so that shouldn't be that big of a burden. We'll go part of the way over there, and we'll have our workout there, and then end up going in close to Pembroke and having dinner and put them in the hotel. This is an opportunity for us. It's a great opportunity because it's the next game. It's an opportunity for our kids to finish strong. It's an opportunity to send our seniors out with a win, and that's the main thing we're looking at. It does two parts as far as being important. It's important to finish strong as far as this 2018 campaign goes. It's important for our seniors to go out with their last game, but it also is talking about building for the offseason.
You talked about finishing for much of the month of October. You did that, but the past 2 weeks in the second half, 1.7 yards per carry. What has it been about second halves these past 2 weeks where you've struggled to run the football?
Well, it's and that's totally against the grain for what we are and what we stand for. A lot of the things got down to fumbles, okay? But it's the same word. It's execution. It's focus. It's urgency to finish things, and to get them done right. And that's where we've struggled at times, and that's where we've got to overcome it. You go back and you look at video. You talk to kids. You talk to them individually. You talk to them as a group. They have the same frustrations that I have about finishing things, and so it showed that we're capable of playing with or beating anybody we've played, and it's got down to just making sure we finish and all sides of the football, offense, defense, and the kicking game.
Morris Coates, his final game as an Eagle, and he's put together an All-America caliber senior campaign. Just needs one tackle for loss to set the single season school record for most tackles for loss in a single season. What's he meant to this football team his senior year? Oh gosh, what a great kid, and it's been unique to see a Shaheem graduate that did that, and then Timo steps right in there and to fill those shoes. And there was a lot of people that thought that he had limitations and that he couldn't be the same kind of player, but he's proven to be what kind of dynamic player he is, what he is, a leader on the field. But he's a playmaker. Okay, he's a guy that's a warrior. He's going to get it done regardless. And for this football team to be what we want them to be and what they want to get to, then they've got to perform regardless, and get the same idea. How special is it that guys like him, like Mario Mezier, had some of their best games here at the final, the stretch run of their senior season?
Well, I think it's great for those two kids, and it's unique that Mario was the guy we featured on the TV show, and then he has that kind of game on Saturday. So maybe we need to start drawing out some different people to feature on the TV show, and maybe just make it into a feature show. That would be fine with me if we're going to get that kind of performance on Saturdays. But Mario has been a steady player, has been, and really, what he did Saturday with an interception and the 5 or whatever pass breakups he had, and those are the kind of plays that rally 10 other defensive guys. Okay, because those are plays that stop drives. Those are plays that get 3 and outs. And on defense, anytime you get a 3 and out, that's a big deal.
Pembroke's been throwing the ball fairly well, 224 yards per game through the air. What sticks out to you about what they do offensively? Well,
they have multiple schemes that they use. They're very, very multiple. It's you can't lock it down and say this is what we have to stop and this is what we have to stop. They've got a lot in their bag to go to feature, and they've got athletes at places there that make big plays, and the quarterback has played steady for them and been very productive. So it'll require our defensive kids to be on the top of their game. It'll be on our defensive kids to play like, hey, we've got to finish strong.
Speaking to that, you played Mars Hill, where Craig Rucker was obviously a key focal point, and other teams had key focal points. It doesn't feel like UNCP has one guy necessarily carries the load. What kind of dynamic does that provide for your defense?
Well, it's you watch a running back, and we saw him find a crack, boom, and he's at the 1 yard line. You watch the guy be productive in the routes, just the patterns, and like I said, they spread it out. I think in their scheme, they provide that quarterback a chance to get the ball out of his hands early, a chance to run the routes at a depth where he doesn't have to sit back and hold it very long.
Tyler Hinton is averaging about 2 tackles for loss this season, 16th in the country. What kind of situations does he present for your offense?
Well, I think on our offense we have to have we've got to have a tempo mentality, okay, and we need to play at a rate that we want to play at. We didn't get anywhere close to the snaps we wanted to get Saturday, and most of that has to do with turning the ball over. You don't have it. If you don't have the football, you don't get snaps. But we have to come into this plan and do what we do best. It's not a time to start pulling things out of the bag. It's a time to reload. It's a time to make sure fundamentally, technique-wise, we're sound in what we're executing, and then go after it.
We talked about ball security. It had been so good up until this week. Do you provide any extra emphasis this week in ball security in practice?
Oh yeah, quite a bit. But those. It's Michael. You saw those fumbles, and they happened, and it's like you would think that's a freak thing, but the freak thing happened, and it's totally about concentration, about taking care of the football, about getting another hand on it before impact, which is a basic fundamental of a ball carrier. Somebody asked about the ball being slick. No, it wasn't slick when we're throwing it up and down the field. And making a 4th down call and throw a swing pattern and get that kind of deal. So it wasn't about the ball at all. It's about security. It's about us taking care of the football.
You mentioned building towards 2019. What do you need to see from this group on Saturday to show you that the last 2 weeks were just kind of a microcosm and not the bigger story for this season?
I don't think the last 2 weeks were the bigger part of this story. I think the story is the whole journey. And the journey, sad enough, is going to end on this Saturday. All right, so we started that journey in Pensacola, Florida, and played hard. We didn't win, but we sure had a chance to be in that situation. And we're going to finish it at Pembroke over there this Saturday. And I think we want to finish that journey on a positive note. I think we want to show that, we've got people that are playmakers, that are capable of making plays, that we have depth in certain positions. And, I know we're going to graduate some kids that's going to be critical in who we recruit to come in and fill those shoes and who can fill positions of competition. We had a little Monday Bowl out here yesterday of some kids that have not been playing, and we saw some kids that we recruited to come here to play that it looks like by the springtime they'll be ready to be players and they'll be ready to compete at positions. But I do want these kids to finish this journey the right way, and I do want them to go out of here with a win, and just as important with a win, feel good about your performance individually and feel good about your performance as a unit and feel good about how this team played in their last game.
Antonio Wimbush leading the country in yards per carry. What does he need to do to put a cherry on the top of his redshirt junior season? I
think just be him and not, and I think we had some guys that maybe got into a pressing situation Saturday, and that may have been part of that turnover deal. Exactly is what it was. We made some mistakes about trying to press when you didn't have to press. I mean, we were in control and fighting our fannies off to stay in control of the football game. And you want kids to perform at a great level and a high level, but you also want them to know that there's a piece about it. Because if I'm doing exactly what I'm told to do, exactly when I'm supposed to be doing it, and doing it at the highest level that I can do it at, then that's a success. We'll be a good football team at that. Wimbo just needs to be Wimbo, okay? He just needs to be who he is and be that factor on the field that when he touches the football, he could go the distance.
Biggest difference between last year and this year?
The biggest difference? I think the finishing part of it, okay? I think the finishing part of it, I think not being able to rally at the time that you needed to rally as a player, okay? And those kids understand that, and they know exactly where that comes from. The biggest difference between last year and this year is the amount of sleep I've had, okay? And it hadn't been any more than any less than it was last year. But now, we're not going to change the way we do things. We're going to do things the right way. We're going to do things to honor the Lord in this program. We're going to play hard, and we want to get after people. And that's what this is about. That's what that's our goal every week, is to go out there and I don't want kids. There's a great deal that goes with high expectations. You understand? If you get picked to win the conference, or you expect you're going to go get in the playoffs, well, you've got to learn to live with that, and you've got to learn to live up to those expectations. But you've also got to say, man, that's great that I'm here. I'm supposed to be here. And if I'm like that, then that's the way I'm supposed to play.
Going back to the seniors, Jordan Price has kind of been a mainstay, especially on the defensive side. What has he meant to the team this season and in his career here at Carson-Newman?
Well, Jordan has been a solid player for us. He's a guy that's grown so much as a man. He's grown so much learning what it is to be a teammate. And I think learning to appreciate the game more. I think this has been a year that he's appreciated being a football player more than ever. And I'm so excited for him. That's a young man that's going to graduate before too long with an MBA degree, and that's a kid that came and has overcome, and that's a great way to go out.